Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host, and this is To Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. You just heard from our attorney, Vincent W. Davis, who's offering a Zoom meeting on Saturday. And it's important that you write down those internet web pages so you can sign up for it. And also, if you're not a member, you can sign up for the school. Don't fret, because the rooms I'm tied into will repeat the school emails, and then the register for the show will show up again at the end of my show. There'll be it showing up again, and I'll make sure that my phone number is taken down so it will not block. I need to put the other phone number back up. Not the other phone. I need to put the ticket back up. Where did it go? It was right there. Okay. If I'm sounding a little bit uneasy right now, I'm really concerned because a lot of things have transpired. So I'm trying to keep it all internal here. But I had a little difficulty coming on. I wanted to be on time, and this particular podcast wasn't available where I normally link in. And so by clicking a bunch of times, it suddenly appeared. Anyway, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you all are here. And I have a great producer. No matter what goes wrong, she does sign in. Now, I do think that our phone number is down. Vonage is down. So I've tried to ask the office for help, but so far I've heard nothing on that. So that I double check here with Vonage. Always check ahead of time. No. So we can only text, make comments, and be a guest on my show. So we won't be able to call in right now until they get Vonage going. And I have no idea what the problem is there. So the membership for the benefits that Vincent was talking about is https://www.skool.com. It's shown in one of the rooms, has it listed there. So that is a good thing. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 6 rooms showing. Sometimes they come a little bit later during the show, and sometimes they come in not. I don't know if something's wrong with my computer or there's a little bugaroo, because I was supposed to have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With YouTube makes 8. So anyway, it's here. I'm welcoming you here because I miss you all. I've been doing this now twice a day, 7 days a week since October. That's over probably 500 shows or more. And I do talk about a lot of different things. I try to make my shows a little bit different. So I start off talking about things. I know that there are normally 4 ways to interact with this podcast. We can do 3 tonight. We can do the guest. We can text the comments, and you can get into this room because I think that part's working too. Because you can find me on Facebook as Fight CPS Bob Pace. There should be a live link there. Plus, there's other rooms in there that I have listed. I have the law offices of Vincent W. Davis and Associates, and then I have the reality series, the horror stories. Then I have juvenile dependency, child protection. And then I have relatives fight CPS, fight stop taking her children. And then I got fight CPS, real talk with Mrs. G. And then I got the secret how to fight CPS and win. Hold. All right. And so, and then I got my Facebook page, Fight CPS with Bob Pace. And then I got the YouTube, Fight CPS, Stop Taking Our Children. So we'll eventually get all those rooms there. And one of them does have the school there. But as far as registering for the program on Saturday, it's free if you are doing the school. And but I think the show on Saturday requires you to be a membership, or there is a cost to do the show, the podcast with Mr. Davis, on that there. So anyway, to use this or to get the best out of this podcast, I would like you to, thank you. Someone gave me a heart. That's much needed. Who was that? Natalie, you're here. Welcome, Natalie. Hi, thank you so much. I needed that heart. You can do a lot of things right now while you're in this room. You can send emojis, which has just got a heart, or you can smile or smiley face or a thumbs up. You also can send me stars, and then you can subscribe to my podcast and get notified when I'm live so that we don't miss my podcast. Please do all the same there. And big heart. Thank you, Natalie. Natalie, by the way, is one of our regulars who comes into my room. She's a single parent, lost 2 children. She lives in West Hollywood, California. Not too far from me. I'm in Southern California, down at the beach. I'm at Surf City, USA. I'm about 3 blocks from the beach. And my morning podcast, I do it live outdoors, and my evening I do it at home with the family. And yes, I'm a family man. I'm a dinosaur, but I'm a family man. I have 6 children. 3 are young and 3 are older. And the oldest ones weren't involved in CPS, but they did take a hit by my involvement. My wife and I are involved with the 3 youngest ones. It hurt the family. It tore us apart. I lost my house because I had to get a job, money to hire my attorney. I did have a job I was working for 45 years, and at age 60 in 2010, I lost my job through no fault of my own. And it was not because of no work or stuff like theirs. It's sort of a chain reaction. State of California, that I had all the contract work, the road construction, had awarded me all these jobs totaling $53 million. And I wanted to get them started, but they couldn't get them started because they wrote me IOUs, meaning that we'll pay you, you do the work, but you have to get credit lines and wait till we get the money to give you. So there was delay on me starting these jobs. And we could have sued the state of California, but my owner decided not to. But he closed his doors in general contracting. That left me with no job. And at age 60, that is a hard thing after working 45 years. That is a long, long time. It's 2010, and now it's 14 years later, almost 15 years later. And I have gotten sporadic jobs, but because maybe my age or something, I don't know. But I am actively looking for a career job. CPS was involved, to my case, 5 years later. So I've been fighting CPS for 15 years, since 2010. When they took my children, by the way, they didn't take them then. They waited 5 years, but they harassed me for 5 years. And they were getting complaints from lay people who were my in-laws. I did not know at the time. And they had called in false reports that my wife and I were not taking care of our children. Now, things were so ridiculous. I showed them the utility bills. I met with them. They've seen my house. They didn't. I met underneath the light. I was, working, and I had to be available for work in the day, so I only saw them at nighttime. If I knew what I knew now, I would never have been involved with them. I would never have had the problems I have with them. I would have known better and stuff like that. So it's you said Natalie said 53 million. How do they pay? What does 53 million represent? Big heart, big flowers. I love that. But Natalie, what do you mean by 53 million? How they pay? And by the way, you can't call me tonight because Vonage, I don't know what's happened with Vonage. That is our phone application. And I can't give up my personal phone because I can't have all these calls all the time on there. Yeah, 50. Yeah, how they pay? They did not pay. I had to resign, give the jobs back to them because our company had to close. I had lots of people that had to be paid, equipment to be paid for. There's no way, being a general contractor in the state of California, the governor says, well, we need the money elsewhere because we're going to go bankrupt. And if we don't take your money, how can we not keep California afloat? So I saved the state. I don't know if everybody knows that, but the state, thankful to me, because they're like Detroit in 2010. And Detroit did go bankrupt. California was close to it. Yeah, I know that. I went to banks and I tried to get bank credit lines, but they were no good. So I went from there to there. So anyway, I'm just glad to have this job with Vincent Davis, and I really want to help you all. I'm not an attorney. As I said, that I'm a married man of 32 years. I've actually had 42 years of marriage because I was married once before. So I've had 42 years to raise a family and 6 children. 3 of them with my current wife. She had 2 children. I had one with my first. So that's how we have a family of 6. But CPS affects everybody. It affects your employment. It affects your credit. My credit's ruined. They ruined my credit. And they didn't care. They wanted to retaliate. They really wanted to retaliate. And I'm telling you negative things about CPS. Not all of CPS is bad. And what I call CPS, it is the agency that's a part of social services that protects our children from neglect or abuse. That's what I call the child protection system. Furthermore, they're supposed to help out families in need. They're supposed to help them with food and clothing and shelter, then education, transportation, and even a job. And of course, medical. Anything the family needs, the social worker is supposed to help. Thirdly, they're supposed to bring the family back together if they pull the family apart, called family reunification. So there's 3 things that the child protection system should do. Not only is it supposed to protect, they're supposed to help, and they're supposed to reunify. So that's what CPS is all about, but I'm sad to say it isn't case. Yeah, Natalie says that CPS did not give her own bus passes. I got bus passes. I know from experience. This was Orange County. I noticed that each county, and by the way, the reason why I call it the child protection system, because every state and every county has different acronyms. And I'd have to say 100 acronyms to describe CPS. So I call it the child protection system. In California, it's called the Child Protection Services. And in certain places, it's called the Department of Child Services, Children's Services, DCS. Now, I don't know if that's for LA County or not, Natalie, but I know that other states use DCS and so forth. But anyway, when I say CPS, I mean all the entities, all the entities. Now, I'm hoping tonight that some of you will um, text in a message. That's my next way of interacting with this podcast. To interact with this podcast, all you do is that you will, type in a comment, and I put it there on the screen for you to read it. And you can do a comment or questions, but it must pertain to CPS. This room is about the child protection system. So I know there's a lot of wonderful topics to talk about. And I know there's a lot of things. And some topics turned out to be CPS. I know one that Natalie brought up was what to do with the homeless people that are being evicted out of their apartment because the owners had sold their homes. And the children were in desperate need of shelter. And this was out in the desert because Amazon was rebuilding a distribution center, and they bought up all the homes, but the people forgot that the people were renting the homes. Most of them were Latinos, and they're renting the homes, and they were told that they had to leave. There's nothing saying about the new owners or if they could rent longer or what. And I don't know if these were really apartment dwellings. I don't know. I don't know all the details. All I know is that you suddenly had a mass of people without shelter, and CPS once around there be up in San Bernardino County. This happened all out in San Bernardino County. But interesting ideas how topics go. Now, when you text me the comments or questions, please show your first name and the city or the county your case was in. So, the city or county, and of course the state. Now, if you're from outside the United States and say you're from a country, because this is a worldwide podcast they're listening to, you're welcome to discuss CPS or voice your comments or concerns or questions. All I ask is your first name, the city, the state, or the province. Most of you are provinces within your country, or sometimes it's a single country. And then, of course, I would like to see it all labeled out, but be complete with your CPS case if you can. Tell as much as you can about your case when you comment in. They're mostly houses. So, see with homes, people can rent homes. And that was in Bloomington, California. But the problem being is no one addressed the homeless of these people with families. And it's really sad. It's really sad about that. Now, with your comments, I will answer them as you type them to me. Like Natalie right now is talking to me, and she's from West Hollywood, and I'm talking to her back. When I said complete with your case, that means how's your family structured? Are you a husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, lovers, or partnership? Are you divorced? Are you still married? And if you're divorced, is the spouse involved with the child or not? Also, of the children, are the husband, wife the parents of the children, or do they have different biological moms and dads? Furthermore, like the ages of the children and what the sexes of the children are, male, female, ages 7 and 9 and whatnot. And so that is the makeup of your family. The second part is how were the children, what were the allegations? I know they're abuse or neglect, but what were the details? How were they abused? How were they neglect? And then, were the children taken? And how were the children taken? Did you give them up? Did they march into your home and take them? Did they ask for them? Did they have a court warrant? How were the children taken? And lastly, were you on your case? Were you on your case? And if you can tell me all that ahead of time, it goes a lot smoother and a lot faster. It's not a back and forth situation. Now, those are comments. The third way is to schedule as our guest, and all you do is you're going to email our show producer. Our show producer works behind the screens. Her name is Grace. She's a hard worker, and I want to thank her for what she does. Her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. All you have to do is tell them, what show you like to be a guest on. Now, as I said earlier, I'm on 7 days a week, twice a day. One time at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time, and the next time at 7 o'clock at night Pacific Standard Time. Except for Sundays, I come on the show a couple hours early, so I go to church. And then on Friday night's a football weekend, I watch a football game Friday nights, so I like to do my show time early. I don't know the exact show time, but so as a guest, you would pick the time, either my Friday evening show or my Saturday morning show or my Wednesday show or my Monday show, where the time is. Put in an email and write to grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. She'll respond and give you the link. I use the StreamYard application, and I'm on YouTube. And so she give the link to StreamYard. I'll get you on there. Don't lose the link because you can reuse it again if you get knocked off. Also, should tell you what you can do and not do as a guest. I mean, like you can't eat, you can't smoke on the show. Also, you can't use the names of children, the social workers, or the judges. And there's other things she'll work with you on is lighting and the sound. She'd like you to use your computer, but if you must, you can use your phone. So I'd love to have you guests. I'm going to have 9 of you, and it will really be nice to have you on the show so that we can have someone talking about their case or how we can help you out with your case. So that's the third way. We would be able to do the fourth way, but again, I don't have the office phone working. The office phone is it's the direct line to my office phone is not working. Yeah, Natalie, that's a good suggestion. We can talk about medical trafficking. We've done that numerous shows, and I don't mind talking about it again. What Natalie's trying to do is she's trying to help me with ideas on the show, because there's lots of ways we can do on the show. We can talk about the rules that will help you out. There are 5 of them. We can talk about a CPS worker, who they are, what they are. We can talk about the CPS system, how bad and corrupt, and my experiences there. We can also talk about um, all these topics. I have over 75 topics are open up on the screen, like a 388 motion. That was actually talked about this morning. Someone wanted to do a 388 motion. And again, they were trying to do the phone, but they found out that her phone was not working. And so she lost the opportunity. I think her name was Crystal, and I invited her back tonight. So, Crystal, if you're out there, again, my phone is down, and I'm sorry that you can't participate or call in. I'm trying to work on that. Let me see what else. Well, a 388 is also used to get a hearing. It's several purposes. It's where you have new information or new findings to get a hearing between you and the judge. And they do it in Texas. Crystal was from Houston, Texas, and she wanted some help to how to do a 388 motion to enter some new information on her case. So it's not only for California, it's for Texas and Maine. There's other places to use the 388 motion. So, Natalie, what did you want to talk first? Did you want to you've talked to you on my personal number. I think you could do that. You could call into my number if you want, Natalie, and you can ask some questions, and we can maybe do Core's Digest tonight. If you want to call in, that would be great, Natalie. If you can call in on my regular private line, and I can do that because I don't give out my phone. I know that you and Faye have it, and so Cora, that was pretty good when you helped me there. So go ahead, Natalie, and I'll answer your call. Let me see here with Cora. Okay. No, Natalie, that is our Vonage. You call me the no. I'm sorry, Natalie. Hold on a second here. Hold on. I'll make it simple for you. That's me calling you, Natalie. No, my 626 number, my work number, Vonage is not working. Hey, Natalie.
Hi.
Hi, this is Bob Pace. I guess
Hi, Bob Pace. Hello.
I called you on my office phone. I'm so glad to hear from you. It
Yes.
seems like a very important function of my room. The call to the office is not working.
Yeah, I have basic talk too, which is basically Vonage. So it needs. I think there's something wrong with the internet.
Well, no. They want me to re-go in password. You see, for a couple weeks, Vonage has been, you couldn't text in or out on Vonage. And then today, during my morning podcast, it suddenly said you need to type in your password. Since it's owned by the company, it has, I guess, a special password that has to be sent, and I can't get that password. So I've called a pro
password necessary.
Yeah, I have a name. I have a username, but that's not the issue. So anyway, I'm glad you're still able to talk to me. I wish I'd give out my number to everybody, but then
no, I understand.
I would have every Tom, Dick, and Harry call me 24/7, and it would be really hard.
Today I had the crazy gardener called me today, but I didn't answer his call. So
right now, you said that you wanted to start off with the 388 motion again. Do you want to talk about that?
The 388 and how you can apply the 388 with the evidence to the medical kidnapping.
Well, that's an interesting concept. I'm glad you did that.
Yes. So, your 388 motion, let's go for it. I don't know how many states have 388s, but they must have a different number. But
no, they all do. It's all due, and in fact, it's a JV 160, juvenile 160.
JV 160. That's for hold on. I remember JV 160 is to show the another evidence.
No, it's the juvenile. It works. It says to me when I was reading the 388. Let me tell you right now, you can download the 388 motion, and you fill out. It's a petition form. It's a petition form to petition the court, and you have to require to show all information it asks for, such as your contact details and any supporting documents. It's very important that you have to have supporting documents. Then you need to make copies of the forms for your own records. You need to make copies. You submit the original form to the juvenile dependency clerk's office. That'd be in LA and Orange County, the dependency law clerk's office, the juvenile dependency law clerk office. And then you wait for a decision from the judge or the commissioner, which will be mailed to your address. Now, they did say a 30-day it's supposed to have a hearing within 30 days. But like anything in life, sometimes they can take longer with that. What the 388 translates to,
you can have you could file your 388 on the same day of your hearing.
Right.
That's necessary to modify the order.
Well, here's what it translates in English. A 388 motion, known also as request to change a court order. See, that's what you're doing. And parentheses, it has JV 160.
Okay.
180. I'm sorry. JV 180. Request to change court order. It's a request to modify a juvenile court order, which is a JV 180. That's the modified juvenile court order. Anyone with an interest in a dependent child can file a 388 motion. That's pretty good that anyone that has interest in the child, if they know something's terribly wrong, they can file it to open a case. However, you should contact with an attorney before filing to ensure you meet the court's burden of proof. You have to have a burden of proof before you can submit that. So the burden of proof is on you filing a 388. The court will consider whether the requested change order is in the child's best interest and whether there are changed circumstances. That's what they're looking for, the child's best interest and a change of circumstances.
For the change of circumstance, yeah, you have to put whatever it was that maybe you could have somebody else take care of the child while you're doing this. Like introduce a family member because the social worker never looks for relatives.
Okay. I had to go silent for a bit here. And so I'm back on the show live.
Okay.
All right. Now, let's go back to the 388. Okay, 388. Now it says the petitioner must make a prima facie showing, which means provide enough evidence to support the claim that this changed circumstances exist. So if you say just because you think there's a change, you have to have written documentation to support your claim.
You have to show evidence. So
Right. Now, if the court grants a hearing, the petitioner can present more evidence to support the request.
Right, so you can, from that 388, you can actually bring someone like the witness to it, to whatever the evidence is.
Whatever the hearing is going to be.
Yeah, if it's like a walk-on, it's a different story.
Now, you can also appeal a 388. If the petition is denied, you can immediately appeal the decision.
Yeah, you can appeal the 388 with a writ, but you can keep still filing more 388s. So there's no limit.
Well, here, let me let you all listen to Vincent Davis talk about a 388 commercial. All right. The video will play soon. This is a question that was asked Mr. Davis. Okay.
I'm trying to understand. Oh,
What is it, Natty?
yes.
I'm letting Vincent Davis talk.
Oh,
Okay. I thought everybody was hearing this. I played it on my computer, but maybe it didn't go to the room. I'm so sorry. You guys are not hearing
it's
anything.
okay.
I was
I'm
attempting to
having
do
a hard
something
time
new.
understanding.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, its problem is with your computer. Let me see. I have to go to that video. I don't know how. I can't find the video. I need to turn it off. Oh, bother. Okay, where is the? Okay, what Vincent Davis was sitting there was three steps. You need to work with the attorney. Number one, the three strategy tests. You need to do a strategy, and then submit that in. And I was thinking that if I played a video from YouTube, would it on my computer? But I guess it will not transmit unless I load the video on the show. So Grace had asked me a question, why you're not talking. I thought everybody was hearing about Mr. Davis. I was trying to supplement the show, trying to make it interesting because there's lots of videos that Mr. Davis has that I've learned. And I
yes.
was trying to share that with
So
you.
he has 3 steps to process your 388.
Right.
Mr.
There,
Davis.
there are three steps that he has. First step is you need to work with your attorney. That's so important because without an attorney, you're going to be lost. And then the second step is you have to develop strategies of how you're going to present your case. And then with your evidence, you submit it in. That's what you need to do. Those are the 3 steps.
Yeah, because you have to develop the strategy. That is always critical for your case because what happens is if you don't have a strategy on the 388, it's just they don't. It's to argue your 388. You need that, to develop it more. Let's see.
So anyway, I played the video. I think what's happened is that I thought that voice would go over my voice, but I guess it didn't. So I have to go back and find out from 101 or from my show producer. Maybe she can help me. How do you play a video on your live podcast? That's what I've been trying to do. And I'm sorry that Natalie didn't come through.
No, it's okay. I was trying to understand because the lady was saying that they removed her reunification, and there were some other things that were going on.
Yeah, she was hard to hear. She was hard to hear. You heard that part.
Right.
But you never heard Mr. Davis answer, did you?
I heard her answer. I heard Mr. Davis answer the lady, but he was saying basically, yeah, you have to contact my office.
Well, what I'm getting at is that I can play a video that my person on my phone can hear, but I can't play it so the audience in the room can hear.
Yeah. So has to be some kind of way. I don't know how to do it.
Anyway, we've talked about a 388. Let's move on to Core's died.
Bob?
Yeah, are you still there?
Yeah, you're breaking up, Bob. Yes?
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello?
Okay, I hear you.
Okay.
Well, that one, timeout left there in my Core's Digest.
Okay.
I'll have to come up with another one here.
I don't know. I don't know all the Core's Digest. I have some on my email, but I had to go through them.
Well, you need to gear it to what you're trying to find answers to.
Right. Some of them are CPS related, though.
Yeah, some of them are. I have mine geared that way. Here is the question. What happens if a child that has been taken away by CPS gets kicked out of foster home and goes back to the parent?
What happens when CPS removes the child from the parent, and then what?
No, what happens if a child that has been taken away by CPS? They're already taken away the child, but the child is in foster care and got kicked out of foster care and goes back home. What happens to the parent? If the child's family isn't currently able to get the child back, most likely CPS will move the child to another foster home. So what the question was is that if the child has been removed by CPS and placed in a foster home, but then they get kicked out of the foster home by the foster people, do they go home back to the parent?
No.
And so the child family isn't currently able to get the child back. Most likely CPS will move to another foster home.
Yes, they keep taking them to foster home.
Yeah,
until one of the foster parents pushes for adoption.
Yeah, well, they definitely could happen. All right, well, that's okay. Now let me try another one here. This is a good one. As a social worker with CPS, what is it like to remove a child from their home and how they generally respond? Now, the answer that they showed here was by Larry, and he's a self-employed visual art creator. He said when he was a CPS social worker, moving a child or children from their home was the most difficult part of his job. Emotionally, it went against everything I knew, but I had to put aside my emotions and do what was best for the children. The true goal, besides the immediate safety of the children, was to work with the parents to overcome and correct the behaviors and our environmental situations in order for the children to be able to return to their home. Now, you see, it goes on further, but what I'm saying is that this is an ideal social worker that does work with CPS. So this is kind of not what we're experiencing. Immediately after getting the children to a safe place, the dedicated work with the parents begin. The children also receive specialized services to address issues that may have been caused by their home life. The idiots on Quora who've written about how social workers love to take children away from parents for no reason have no clue what it's all about. They don't have the nightmares about seeing terribly abused children or having to work with parents who do not have the mental capabilities to properly raise children. They never felt the joy of knocking on the door of a home from which you've had to remove children, only to be met by a person with a shotgun, rifle, or pistol, and certainly don't know the joy of being cursed at while also being shot at. I haven't worked in CPS for around 50 years, but I still have nightmares about some of the children and the situation and experience. This is interesting. Don't pity the CPS worker because they choose that track, but the same token, don't define them for the good work that they do to save the lives and improve children. That's if social workers are good. The problem being is social workers have not been good.
Well, no, they haven't been good. And the thing was that in my situation, they never really did anything. They just kept lying. And also the funny thing is like they gave the excuse about many things, and they even accused my monitor of being a liar.
Yeah.
And then they sent me an FFA worker, which is basically the foster family agency worker. She was like mentally unstable. She would sit and talk to herself because she had cerebral palsy. She'd space out. It was creepy.
Yeah.
So, and then she would make stories up herself, but they wouldn't replace her at all. Because then they thought it was discrimination, but I said, I'm not discriminating against her. I need somebody who's actually able to do better reporting or something. But she put us at 100-degree heat outside. And then one time my poor kids, they slipped in water because it rained. She didn't care. There's a lot of horrible things, that I went through, but I think, it's just ridiculous, and she was stupid,
Right.
I mean, I don't know. If you find anybody smart working for DCFS, let us know.
Okay. Anyway, here's another question, Natalie. What should you never say to a judge? Now, this was answered by Helena.
Well, I have many questions and answers on that.
Hold on. Let me give you the answer that Helena did. She's an educator at New York City, Brooklyn. So she is an educator there. She says the answer, what should you never say to a judge? In family court, my ex-husband attempted to hide money he took out of a pension loan to reduce the size of his paycheck. I pointed it out to my attorney, who asked the judge to add back the money when figuring the child support figure. She got angry as the two city employees pulled the same stunt on her. She ordered the maximum allowed by law by jumping. This is not about CPS. This kind of misled me because this is totally...
I don't understand. She's trying to get child support?
Well, yeah, this is about a divorce settlement.
Okay, next question.
Yeah, I know. It's really hard to read through them. Okay, this one's definitely CPS. Can grandparents actually call child protection services on their daughter? What are the potential consequences if they do make the call? Now, Angela, who's a lover of Prince and has been since I was 8, whatever, she answers. I don't know what that's got to do with it anyway. I'm guessing they can. And the reason I know is because my father called on me. I was a daddy's girl, and growing up, I was his world. We're very close, and I loved him very much. But I did not realize the reason behind it. My kids were in high school when my father lost his job and began struggling. I came to him for help because my teenage daughter and I will not be getting along. He told me she was my daughter and I needed to work it out. Then he found out that if he had her, he could get money for her. Since he was struggling with no way to take care of his own finances, he decided to call CPS. He told them about the struggles that I was having with my daughter and also many lies. So they came and took my children. The worker informed me of the allegations and reports, so I knew who made them. I said his name right away, and now she nodded yes. She also said she was not at liberty to tell me. My world was shattered. My trust was gone. I never imagined in a million years that the man who I looked up to and should be behind 100% thought anything happened between him and my mother could do this to me. My story has so much more and it gets more sickening, but the answers to your question, yes, they can. They can call.
So her dad called the CPS, or how?
Well, her dad did call because he heard that you get money.
So he would get money from the social worker?
Well, because he didn't get money. He didn't get that far.
Right.
But he wanted to make up stories. This is the problem with lay people involving with CPS. They'll make up lies so they get money. CPS gives money to foster care and to guardians and to families.
But he wasn't there as a guardian yet. He would have to.
We don't know. We don't know what he was here. All I know is he made up stories and had her children taken away. Maybe because he thought they would stay with him. That's what he was thinking of. But it didn't end up that way. It was a terrible. The thing is, that poor girl thought the world of her daddy, and her daddy destroyed. That was a terrible story.
That's terrible. That's horrible. You know, they act, but you know, a lot of the time CPS, they'll say that relatives call, but it's really strange. But or they call relatives. I don't know. Most of the time, CPS 100% of the time lies, so you can't really trust them. But I can understand in this girl's situation that that her dad called, but the social worker, said I can't tell you who really called. But then she admitted to her that her dad called.
Yeah, right. I hear you on that one there.
And then in my case, it was really weird. Like, they identified the caller, which was my neighbor. They put his name on the report for the court. Can you imagine? And my psychologist, she was like, no, they're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I understand that. We got close to the end of the show, and so I got to end the podcast. And I want to thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
And you can stay on for a bit. And that
I just explained
I have to sign off. I have to sign off, Natalie. I have to sign the show.
Okay, thank
so
you.
All my listeners, please call me again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Hopefully we'll get the phone going. And so God bless you and keep fighting. Do not forget, this is Bob Pace sign off. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
There will be a brief presentation by Mr. Davis about his Saturday.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.